In this episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief, I sit down with one of the episode's sponsors to talk all about his great game. Speaking of that, this episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is sponsored by that said game, Oddbods G0-KARDS. Oddbods G0-KARDS is a smart and quirky card-powered racing party game that just barely reached its funding goal on the Kickstarters. It's got awesome car meeples and you're racing around the board, but why don't I let Sid explain that all to you in our interview that we talk about. But you should definitely check out this great game. Just scroll through the page, you'll see all the cute fun art. Plus, it's really fun for kids and adults alike. So stay tuned for our interview after a short Kickstarter Corner. And in the meantime, or even during the interview, check out Oddbods G0-KARDS, a smart and quirky card-powered racing party game that'll be on Kickstarter for 3 more weeks as it goes through Wednesday the 12th of December. This episode of Getting Geeky with Game Relief is also proudly being powered by Rotunda-Last Man Standing Family Party Game. Battle your friends and family in 16-minute games to decide the champion. This game had a great feeling and reminded me quite a bit of Mario Party for your tabletop. If you go back and listen to my episode in which I sat down with Amos and Nona to talk all about it, we actually played a couple of the mini games, so you can do that and check it out. And then come back over and back at the chips. They have some cool poker chips that have fun cartoon characters. That is the way to keep track of your scoring. I would definitely check out the great game on Kickstarter. It's on Kickstarter for another 15 days to 2 weeks, so about 2 weeks. Check out Rotunda, Last Man Standing Family Party Game. That'll be on Kickstarter through Thursday, the 6th of December.
Getting Geeky with Gamer Leaf, the podcast in which one man strives to level up his geekhood and helping you do the same, one battle at a time. Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Welcome to Getting Geeky with Game Relief. So glad you could join us. I know you're busy baking pies or turkey or doing something in regard to getting ready for Thanksgiving, unless you're on the road traveling to that yummy Thanksgiving meal. So let's just get on with it and we'll go straight into Kickstarter Corner and then straight into our interview. Shall we?
What is this place? What is it doing here in the Leaf's computer? Oh, it's Kickstarter Corner with the Leafs.
So, a couple of great games that are currently on Kickstarter. Some of them are finishing up. Some of them are just started. We've got 3 great games to bring you. The first one is Catacombs 3E playmat version. This is a dungeon crawl game. It's not like your regular everyday dungeon crawl in which you're rolling dice. This one is the award-winning dexterity dungeon crawl and it's back and better than ever. So instead of rolling dice, you're flicking your heroes through the encounters, and this time you'll be able to do that on double-sided playmats in Catacombs 3E playmat version. And just so you know, if you want to go and listen to our episode in which we sat down with the creator Aaron of Ellsworth Games, you can do that by clicking over to the updates, and then you'll want to check out the update that was given on November 13th called Catacombs New Cardboard Herald Preview Video, and we appeared in that preview, or that update, shall I say, our interview with Aaron. So check that out, give it a listen, and if you like anything about this campaign, make sure you click our link to show a little bit of support to Ellsworth Games as well as Getting Geeky with Game Relief, so we can keep bringing you great games that are on Kickstarter and great games alike. But check out Catacombs 3E playmat version. At the time of this recording, they have about 32 hours to go. By the time you're hearing this, it'll probably be somewhere around 24 hours or less, so depends when we get this uploaded. But right now it's really short, so you would want to jump in on the fun of this as this project goes through Wednesday the 21st of November at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So definitely check that out, give it a listen, the interview, and check out the page on Kickstarter, and then back it if you like what you see. I know we are excited about everything Catacombs actually on our shelf. Another game that's on Kickstarter, but we're going to give you a little bit longer to check this one out, is the Fumblecrit Wars game. That's right, the Fumblecrit Wars game, in which, just a little bit about it, it is a 2-player, fast and fun dice rolling game where the object is to wipe out each other's warband first. Yeah, so you should definitely check this one out. The game is on average 15 to 20 minutes, and it's appropriate for 8 years and up. So you definitely want to check out this cool, I don't know if it's necessarily a roll and write, but that's the feel I get of this great game. So I would definitely check out the Fumblecrit Wars game, which is a tabletop dice game. They reach their goal in 8 hours, and like I said, there's 10 days for you to get in on the fun of this one as it goes through Friday the 30th of November. So definitely check out the Fumblecrit Wars game. Last but not least, on this week's, well, not this week's, there's still more episodes coming to you, and you can find out about all of them by making sure you subscribe on your favorite podcast catcher of Getting Geeky with Game Relief, or to our website at GameReliefGo.com. The next game that's currently on Kickstarter for a little while longer, and also part of our Kickstarter Corner, is that of Glyph Chess, the Magic board game. It's a tactical style board game which can only be played by the most powerful wizards. That's right. And you know what? They funded in 48 hours, and we were lucky enough to be able to sit down with the creators of this great game, and our interview with them is actually showing up in their latest update as well. So click on over, and it's called Podcast with Game Relief. Hey, that's me. And this preview, or shall I say update, went live not yesterday but the day before on November 19th. So you can go back and listen to the episode. It's a little bit easier to, as you can just click that update from our show notes and it will direct you over there. But yeah, Glyph Chess looks awesome. It's like chess with abilities, and it's also got a 3-player option. So yeah, definitely go ahead and check out Glyph Chess, the Magic board game, which will be on Kickstarter through Monday, the 10th of December, from Blue Piper Studios. So check that out. And now, let's go ahead and join Game Relief and Sid as they talk all about Oddbods G0-KARDS that's on the Kickstarter.
Now, let's get geeky with Gamer Leaf.
Welcome to Getting Geeky with Game Relief. Tonight we're lucky enough to be joined by one of the creators and masterminds behind a new game on Kickstarter, Oddbods G0-KARDS. Is that correct? Is that how you fall in line with Oddbods G0-KARDS, Sid?
Yes, it is indeed Oddbods G0-KARDS.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us on Getting Geeky with Game Relief. We really appreciate it, Sid.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. Now, maybe somebody hasn't, they learned about the podcast later on or whatnot, so maybe they don't remember you, but I know we had you on quite some time. I want to say it was probably about a year ago or so, last December maybe. I don't remember exactly, but we had you on a while back ago. But maybe somebody hasn't heard the podcast with you on it previously. Maybe you can do a refresher for anybody that's new or people that maybe heard you but have forgotten because it's been a while. How did you get into playing tabletop board games, Sid?
Well, I have 2 daughters, 11-year-old and a 14-year-old. And I used to be a video gamer. I am a game developer. I do a lot of games. I play a lot of games in general. But when my kids started growing up, I wanted something more than just consoles and computer games to play with them. I wanted to spend more time, quality time, with my daughters. So we started collecting and playing a lot of board games. And today my family kind of regularly plays games together. We kind of do at least twice or three times a week. And that kind of started this newfound love for board games for us.
How big is your collection, if you don't mind us asking, Sid, of games that you have?
Let me see if my wife's around. Okay, she's not here. So yeah, a couple of 100 games now.
And I imagine you've played them all?
Oh yes, of course. We play, like I said, we make it a point to make sure that we play different games regularly. We don't keep playing the same game again and again. Basically the idea is to constantly be learning new stuff.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. So lately, what have you been playing? What kind of games have you been playing lately?
So I just got a Subatomic. It's the most new game. One of our favorites is Compounded. Of course, we're very fond of Love Letter. I just got, again, I backed another game on Kickstarter called Super Tall. It's a game about designing your own skyscrapers. That's pretty awesome. We have Evolution. So yeah, a lot of different types of games. It's been a lot of fun.
Can you pick a favorite?
Oh, that's really hard. Picking a favorite game. Well, if I have to go for my all-time favorite, I think as a family, we make sure, come back to Kanban a lot. Kanban Revolution. We come back to that a lot. So I think we kind of favor heavy games. So that in a heavy game, I'd say Kanban Revolution. If you want to talk about something light, actually, we do play a lot of Machikoro.
Oh, yeah, I vaguely remember. Yeah, me and my daughter, we were like that. It's been a while since we got it to the table, though, but I really like Machikoro.
Yes. Machikoro is, it's a very, we have all the expansions. It's very, it's one of the things that my daughters like playing a lot.
There you go. But what about Kanban? I haven't heard of that one. What can you tell us about that?
So Kanban is a factory planning game. It's actually built around the Kanban system that was invented by Toyota. It's a car making game. Basically, you're trying to be, everybody works kind of together. You're all managers in a car manufacturing company. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to make sure that your department is the most productive one, creating new versions of cars and making sure they get to the assembly line and then getting them sold at the showroom. So it's a fairly involved game. It takes almost like a half an hour to set it up, and it takes a month, at least an hour plus to play as well. And we kind of play it kind of once a month, but it's a beautiful game. It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah, it sounds kind of intriguing to me. So as a designer, what would be one thing you would do to change or enhance that game?
Oh, I think that game is perfection. I wouldn't comment about that.
Oh, there you go. Awesome. I'll have to check it out. It sounds pretty cool. And it seems like there's a common theme going on with you. It seems like you like transportation. I remember last time we had you on, we had flying ships or regular ships with our Vertigos.
Yes. So Vertigos was the game we released last year in 2017. We raised about $150,000 on Kickstarter, and then we spent the whole year making that game, and it's getting delivered. It's actually with backers today. We've kind of shifted out. About 2 months ago, we started shipping, and I think we completed shipping just last week.
Yeah, I started seeing people posting that they've gotten it and not. And so that has, if I remember right, that has like ships that move and like you can move the cells and stuff. It sounded really cool. And now you're on to something new, but it's still in the transportation mode. What can you tell us about Oddbods G0-KARDS?
Oh, so it's a card-powered racing party game. Basically, it's a game that is easy to pick up, and it's all about racing. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick up your meeple, and the meeples are based off these really, really adorable characters called Oddbods. And it's a Singaporean company that makes this animation. and we are working with them. Again, they're a small team, so we have like 2 teams of creatives working together. And basically, the game is you design a track, and then you choose a meeple, and then you play some cards, and you race the meeple around the track. So it's a fairly simple mechanic. But what we've done is it's kind of very much like Mario Kart, or it's very much like kind of take that kind of mechanic where what you're trying to do is trying to be the first person to race across the finish line, and you're trying to stop everybody else from kind of spoil everybody else's plans. So it's hilarious in that sense. We've made it. It's made in a way that it's easy for children to pick up, but then it's also a lot of fun for adults to play on their own.
Well, that's always a good thing. So, per se, man, you sat down to play Oddbods G0-KARDS. What's my turn going to look like, Sid?
In your turn, basically, every player has like a handful of cards, and the cards let you move, right? And there are like we have movement cards, we have special cards which let you move and also do special actions, and we've got other kinds of cool stuff as well. But basically, in your turn, you decide which cards you want to play. You play the cards, and then you move your racer by the amount of movement points that you scored with your hand. And then when you move your racer forward, the racer interacts further with the racing track, right? And then, and funny things happen. And then you draw your card and you end your turn, basically. So that's it. You play a card, you move your racer, you interact with whatever is happening on the track, and then you draw cards back, and that's the end of your turn.
So do you keep a certain amount of cards on hand?
Yes. So you have a hand size. It's typically about 5 cards you can keep in your hands. So it makes a lot of sense to hold on to. What people are trying to do basically is to try to play an optimum turn, right? So each time, what you're trying to do is you're trying to make the best strategy for you. In that particular turn, you're trying to find the best cards and the best combination of cards that can take your racer zooming across the track, right? Sometimes the best thing for you is not necessarily just to race your own racer, but to stop somebody else from kind of maybe crossing the finish line, or you're basically trying to stop other people. So and the thing is, every time you play a card, it's gone. It's now gone to the discard pile. So and all the cards have unique effects. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to hold on to the right kind of hand and play it at the most advantageous position, advantageous time for yourself.
Awesome. Then scrolling through your Kickstarter page over and over again, it looks really awesome.
Thank you.
So one thing I wonder, there's 2 different sets, a family set and a pro set. What's the difference between those, Sid?
So the family set is the main game, and basically it's a fully playable, completely. It's a complete game essentially. It's built for families that kind of want to play. It's got a lot of different types of tracks. It has all the meeples. It has special cards and movement cards and dare cards. So we have another mechanic in the game called dare. And sometimes what happens is that you have a dare card in your hand, and if you play the party dare, you can do something cool like play extra cards, or draw something extra cards, or things like that. And but what you got to do is you got to kind of try to lick your elbow with make somebody laugh or something like that. So these are party dares essentially. So the family game is meant for children and families with kids and adults who want to play that as well. The pro game is an expansion that builds on that. Like I said, we are heavy gamers. We like strategy games. So the pro expansion is it takes the family game and makes it into a full-fledged kind of no holds barred racing brawl, right? So you've got power-ups, and you've got like a pit stop board, and you've got more special cards and more special actions that you can do. So basically the pro expansion builds on the family game and makes it into a proper kind of heavy game.
Does it take the party element away, or?
No, the party element stays. It's just a lot more tactical, a lot more strategic. It's a lot more difficult to finish, to race across the finish line. You can make much longer tracks. So think of it this way. The family game is meant to be like 15 minutes to 20 minutes of play. The pro game A single race can last 60 minutes if you wanted to, like 60, 90 minutes or whatever.
When did this whole idea of Oddbods Go-Kards come into fruition, or when did you start making this game?
Well, actually, the team, a lot of people on the team in Oddbods actually backed our Vertigo's Kickstarter. That's how we kind of came to know each other. So they backed us on Kickstarter, and then they were like, hey, we like your work. We have this awesome franchise, but it's for kids. Would you guys be interested in doing something with it? And then I checked out, then my team member, my artists, my co-designers and all, we went and saw what they were doing, and we were like, hey, wow, Oddbods are adorable. And so we was like, okay, let's try doing something together. And so then we kind of pitched a few ideas to them. We wanted to make like a really serious game. They wanted to make a kind of a really casual game that kind of appeals to their audiences. So then when we came up with this idea of like doing a game and an expansion, right? And there we have it. So it's been almost like 8 months in the making. Playware kind of, we have this thing where we design the game, prototype it really early, and then we try to play it with a lot of people to play test it. We take it to conventions and things like that and make sure that it kind of it kind of works really well before we bring it to Kickstarter.
Okay, awesome. And during playtesting, was there ever anything you had to scrap for the game because it just wouldn't work?
Oh, oodles of stuff. There's so many designs, so many kind of concepts that we kind of changed. The game used to have a very heavy dice element as well that we kind of stripped away then. We had, the track used to be basically, the track started out as a fixed thing that you couldn't really kind of, it was kind of very much like a laid out track. So it was just a single game board. That's how it started. But then what we realized is like very quickly people found out what's the best way to play their strategy. And every time they played the game, it played exactly the same. So that was one of the big change basically when we moved away from the static track to this modular design where you can make your own thing. So that was a very big change.
Awesome. And how did you know when it was ready to go to Kickstarter, Sid?
Actually, it was about a month ago. We were at the Singapore Toy Game and Comic Convention. It's a local. It's a very big convention that happens here in Singapore, and we were showing the game as it was still a prototype at that time. And we had a couple of people who kind of literally put their money down. They said, "We want it. We want to take it. Can we take it home with us?" And so we're like, "Okay, I think the game's ready to sell."
Oh, there you go. So that's how you knew. That's awesome. Now, what would you say you're most proud of when it comes to Oddbods Go-Kards?
I'm incredibly happy with the way that it has come out. That kids get really excited at seeing it. I'm like, my daughter plays it with her friends all the time. We, and kids are able to explain the game to each other. But what kind of makes me really, really kind of feel over the top is when I see a bunch of adults sit down and play the whole game out and enjoy it. I mean, it brings childhood back to people. That's pretty awesome, right? Because I mean, it's fun, it's colorful, it's cartoonish, it's all of those things, and I appreciate that. A lot of people kind of don't play this kind of thing. Mostly, it's like family games are meant to be for kids. They're not meant to be enjoyed by adults. But then they start playing the game and they're like, wow, there's something in it for me. And that's something that I'm extremely proud of. I'm very happy to have kind of, that we managed to kind of come to this place where it's a game that kids can adore and it's a game that adults can enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. It looks awesome. Just looking at it, like you said, a lot of times they don't like necessarily the same games, but that's cool. It sounds like a game where I could, if my kids beg me to play it, I could let them go play it, but then I could turn around and go take it to my game group and we'd have fun too.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. I mean, so I'll tell you honestly, when I started down my own board game journey with my family, we bought a lot of games. And of course, the first few games we bought were like the typical stuff that you find, like Life, Monopoly, Risk, Candyland, that kind of stuff, right? We were trying to get the kids involved. And it's been painful because as my kids grew up and as we started playing more games, a lot of family games become redundant really soon, right? You buy it for your children, but then your children grow up, and then that game's useless. You can't keep it because it's not something adults can engage with. It's too simple for adults to play. So with Go-Kards, one of the hopes was that it's a game that you can play instantly with your kids, with your 5-year-old, with your 7-year-old. But if you wanted to go out, hang with your friends and have a few beers and play this game, you could do that too.
For sure. Yeah, it looks that way. It looks awesome. So per se, somebody goes ahead and takes a chance on Oddbods Go-Kards, so they don't overpromise and underdeliver. When would they anticipate getting their copy so they can start becoming a Go-Kart champion?
Yeah, so we've got shipping planned for May. This time we've taken more time. We've already got the prototype game built. So actually, because we did Vertigos last year, we learned a lot of stuff. We actually have a good working relationship with multiple manufacturers, and we've kind of figured out all the logistics of actually getting this delivered. So, you know, this is one of those games that's for sure going to get delivered on time.
Awesome. And per se, somebody wants a copy of Vertigos. They didn't back the last one, and they like Oddbods, and then you can scroll down the page and you can see a Vertigos as well. Is that something that they maybe can put on their pledge or back in the pledge manager when that comes available too?
Okay, so we have a very few copies of Vertigos. Actually, we have been getting a lot of requests from people who want to buy Vertigos. Unfortunately, that was a very exclusive game. We only made about 800 copies. Yeah, and we've sold most of them. So what we've done is we actually have now like only a couple of hundred copies left. So actually, if you go to the Oddbods, page, we have what is called the Playware Hobbies fan tier. And what we're doing is we've actually kind of included the full set of Vertigos, the complete set. So Vertigos had a lot of add-ons. And unfortunately for us to ship the add-ons individually or create an online system for selling Vertigos in pieces is not possible. So what we've done is we've actually put some of the Vertigos complete sets on the Oddbods. So there is a Playware Hobbies fan tier where you can actually buy a full set of Vertigos with all the add-ons, everything that was in the Kickstarter, and also get a copy of Oddbods Go-Kards Pro Edition. And so, yeah, that's the only way that you can actually buy Vertigos right now.
Oh, okay, I see that here. And the Playware Hobbies fan tier, it looks like.
It's really expensive, unfortunately. I'm sorry, because it's all in Vertigos plus the Pro, all in. Basically, you get a lot of game, but it's expensive. I'll say that myself.
Do you anticipate doing a second edition of Vertigos and keep going with it?
Of course, Vertigos is certainly something. It's a world that we're going to explore a lot. We're going to build a lot on that game. We have a lot of plans for it. We've actually announced, if you go to the Vertigos page and if you see our latest update, we've already announced, what some of the next things will look like. We have beautiful designs for much larger ships, and there's a lot of cool stuff that's coming.
When might we anticipate a Kickstarter for that one?
Well, we're going to take our time with Go-Kards, so Vertigos Part 2 probably around April-ish.
Okay, so next April maybe?
Yeah, probably next April.
Awesome. I'll look forward to that. But in the meantime, people should definitely jump over, click on that link that we'll leave in the show notes so they can check out everything that's great about Oddbods Go-Kards that's currently on Kickstarter through the 12th of December. Now, mine is coming over there to Singapore to stock you, Sid. How would people go about keeping up with you and the different games that you guys have coming out and whatnot?
So we're on Facebook. We've got Vertigos has its own page. Oddbods has its own page. I'm on Twitter. We're on Board Game Geek. The games everywhere. I'm like, we're very social people. I'm like, I'm always online. So if you look at our pages, if you look at what we are doing, you should be able to.
Yeah, I think you sleep less than me, maybe.
Yeah, I don't get to sleep at all.
Oh boy, yeah, maybe after the campaign, but I don't want to keep you up all night. We've already kept you up long enough, but I really appreciate you coming on Getting Geeky with Game Relief to talk all about Oddbods Go-Kards that's, like I said, currently on Kickstarter through the 12th of December.
Okay. Yeah, it's get on if you're planning on backing Oddbods Go-Kards. Just to your listeners, I would like to say, do it now, because we have from our friends in One Animation, they've actually given some really cool stuff. And for the first batch of backers who help us get funded, there are some really, really cool minis, collectibles that they're going to be giving away as well. So the first batch of backers that help us get funded are going to get some really, really cool stuff. It doesn't matter if you fund us, go back us on the family tier or the thing, but go check out the update number 3. We have some really, really cool surprises and rewards for people who are, our first batch, or what we call pioneer batchers, who help us get funded.
Awesome. Yeah, and like I said, we'll leave links in the show notes so they can go check that out. So definitely, like Sid said, go check out update number 3 and everything that's great about Oddbods Go-Kards, and we will go ahead and let you go. But I really appreciate you coming on Getting Geeky with Game Relief to talk all about it with us, Sid. We really appreciate it. It was good talking to you again.
Thank you, Blake. It was great talking to you too. And thank you for all your support with Oddbods. I look forward to hearing the show.
For sure, we appreciate it.
Gamer Leaf levels up.
I hope you enjoyed that interview as I sat down with Sid to talk all about Oddbods Go-Kards. The game sounds fun, the art looks amazing and cute. It sounds like it's a good game for both kids and adults to play, either playing with the kids or separately with your adult friends. So definitely check out that great game. Click on our link and head on over there. Back it if you like the project. Show them a little love. Show us a little love. But anyways, it's our least favorite time, your least favorite time. Time for us to get on with our lives, you to get on with yours. In the meantime, I hope you'll go ahead and make sure you're subscribed if you're not, so you can catch our episodes. We'll either have 1 or 2 more episodes this week, depending on what goes down. But I hope you'll go ahead and get geeky, stay geeky, and bring others into Geekfold. And like usual, we'll catch you on the flip side. Everybody have a nice Thanksgiving, will ya? Make sure you watch a little bit of Charlie Brown. That's our favorite Thanksgiving video. Do you have yours? What's your favorite Thanksgiving video? Go ahead and comment on the bottom below here and let me know so I can check out some Christmas or Thanksgiving movies. I'm a big fanatic for both of them. But anyways, happy gaming, y'all, and we'll see ya next time on Getting Geeky with Game Relief.
Gamer Leaf levels up. Tune in next week to see if Gamer Leaf's luck holds up.